Oh boy. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Cocktails and Convos. My name is Chris and my pronouns are he and him.
My name is Shane and my pronouns are he or they.
My name is Ted and my pronouns are he or him.
You hesitated there and I thought there was a different direction of where that was gonna go.
I was about to be like, is Ted coming out on camera for the first time?
What if I just came out with he or her? Would that be just fucking weird?
I was like, Ted's genderquear. Great, let's go.
All right, I'd be like,
you should have told us first. Maybe would have prepared myself a little bit for that. But
is there any other name you'd like to be called by, Ted?
Nope,
Ted good.
All right, and so as you can see, if you are familiar with the Completionist, TOVG, Super Beard Bros, we do have Ted on today. He is awesome. I'll throw up his socials right now. Here on the camera, he is joining us because he has a very unique perspective for the topic today. And as you can see, our drink today is the Sex in the Driveway, and it is a doozy. So
it's delicious.
If you make this as you saw the tutorial, please drink responsibly.
Be very careful with this.
This is a big one.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Does this come out before or after the episode?
After.
Great.
So yeah, so they'll know that this has happened.
Awesome.
And so what's our topic today, Shane?
Today our topic is Grindr, and actually the real thing is Grindr loves straight men, and I'd actually like to refine that. Straight men.
Straight men. Straightest man.
Me.
Ted. Grindr loves Ted.
Grindr loves Ted,
Me.
but they also love to say that they love straight men or straight acting men. And that's something that we would like to talk about.
We're going to dive right into that. Ted had a very interesting experience recently, and we'll link the video in the description below.
Yeah.
On a show called F It Beard Bros, a patron asked us to create a Grindr profile for Ted and talk to people. So essentially, Ted got to experience what a lot of we in the queer community have experienced for, which is Grindr. And, you know, we brought Ted on because Ted has some illuminating perspectives, because Ted identifies as a heterosexual cis male. And so that's something that he had never, I don't think Ted was quite prepared for what he was going to see, and maybe a little bit. But I think it was something that I guess I hyped it up a lot beforehand, but...
Yeah, I didn't really know quite what to expect. There were several different experiences.
Yeah.
There was the experience of setting up the profile and taking pictures and trying to figure out what dude wants to see, and that was very strange because I'm in the bathroom taking selfies trying to look sexy for dudes. It's very strange. And I kept asking myself, man, I feel kind of pretty. This is nice.
I'm feeling good. This is.
But wow. What do I think of that?
Shane and I coached Ted through this for probably an hour.
We spent the night coaching Ted on how to.
We picked out his outfits. We picked places. It was kind of fun, actually.
I
just had a free pass to be as feminine as. Fuck it. You know, I could be as feminine or manly as I damn well please.
Yeah, for sure. You didn't have any expectations, really.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Very interesting.
So to get back a little on topic, Ted very clearly, and I think Ted even in his most feminine form, presents as a straight person very clearly, or at least a straight acting person in the scope of the people that I wouldn't say we catfished, but people we talked to on Grindr, half catfished, half fished. No, we half fished people on Grindr with Ted. And the responses were pretty overwhelming. I made the profile twice. I made it at home, and then I realized we couldn't use Shane's phone because Shane it was a weird day, and so I made it again, and we got responses almost immediately upon me putting Ted's picture and everything up on the site.
A little bit of context. It was the week of Valentine's Day / prior.
But
I don't know if that has a huge impact.
In the middle of the week.
Yeah.
In the middle of the
a work day. It was 1 p.m.?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was, Friday night.
Trolling hours.
Or midnight. Even on a weeknight, midnight is, you can find so
many
much
people.
dick.
And there were essentially no slow responses. I was
you were
astonished.
Saying they were pretty immediate when you were all talking to them.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And so, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, everyone works their job at different times. You know,
Yeah,
if you're a
that's real.
server, you might work at night. So
Fair? Or are you maybe taking a break at work and you whip open Grindr? Look
Oh,
for a little something.
I mean, how many
I
of
used to
us
do
use
that.
our phone at work?
Yeah,
So
on the real. So I think a big part of Grindr that can be, especially I haven't been on Grindr as me personally in a minute, and so I don't know if the culture is the same way, if the experience is the same thing. I know, you people who are queer at home have experienced the blatant toxic masculinity that permeates that app and your
internalized
experience.
homophobia that is just toxically masculine.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Mask for mask, no femmes, and it's
that language is so problematic. I don't know how, because you have a very different experience of Grindr. That we all would have very different ones, very clearly. Because you're a trans man, Ted's straight, I'm a big old queer bear, and I would get people who expected me to be the toxic masculine, and I was like, hey, and I presented myself in a very different way, and people were confused by that.
Yeah,
people be confused by that because I'm a big burly guy, but I am not that toxic masculine.
You're
persona.
a bottom.
Oh my God. Could that be a whole nother episode of the categorization of bears and twinks and all that
that's
stuff?
totally, absolutely.
That'd be fascinating.
Because
and if that's good or if it's bad or pros and cons.
Like, the gay male community specifically has a lot of categories.
Yeah.
So I'm sure a lot of you have heard or seen the Mask for Mask or seen their profiles. And that's the problematic because it shuts down, number one, another group of people. Number two, it
there's something wrong there. Let me ask you, like,
it's inferring that femininity is bad or problematic.
Well, the whole thing is it comes from a place
absolutely.
Internalized homophobia, because what you're saying by saying mask for mask is that or no femmes, is that you only want someone who's traditionally masculine, and that's a form of homophobia.
Oh, yeah.
And let me just tell you, if you're seeking a masculine person, bitch, that's feminine.
Right.
Get fucked.
I feel it. And there's...
Sorry. So, mask for mask?
Well, I think it's because
bitch,
those people who are... Who view the world that way, especially gay dudes who are, straight acting. Or, and this is me completely generalizing,
it's
of course.
Cis.
The cis.
Sorry, had to do it to you.
Throwing the shade. I think that people who are seeking that are those people who don't ever want to. They find this, like Ted was saying, weakness in femininity, and they're perceiving the world that I don't want to be one of those gays, because there's a certain portrayal of gay people that maybe that's acceptable, that they've seen. That they think that's what they don't want. They don't want to be seen as just one of those other gay people. They don't
want to be associated with those gay
very
people.
Obviously queer people. They just don't want that, and it's
sad.
Yeah, it is sad. It's sucks, and it makes me feel bad that people have to deal with that on a more regular basis. You know?
And I mean, I'm happy to be off of Grindr.
For real.
But the real truth of it is, before I moved out to this area just a couple months ago, I was back on Grindr, not necessarily looking to hook up with people, but I was like, maybe I'll meet some gay friends, because I was in suburbia, and it was sad, and I was lonely.
Understood.
I was, over an hour away from anyone I knew, and I was like, well, where better to turn to than Grindr?
Right. Well,
also, I'm going to say that, like my experience was similar to Ted's. And as soon as I log into my profile, as soon as I opened the app, I was hit with messages and people that would respond right away. And so it was validating. It felt nice to have people like me.
I will say I've never once experienced that on Grindr.
Which is another...
Which I think is kind of a perfect segue to how drastically different my experience on Tinder is.
Oh yeah. When I remember talking about this, when I was on Tinder, I matched a lot and talked to a fuckload of people.
Grindr's mean.
I'm fishing all day and I never
just fucking dry, right?
Yeah, and out of the God, what, 50 girls I like, I'll match with 2 of them. And once out of every maybe 20 of those 2, I'll get a response back after initial message.
So crazy to me.
That's wild.
That's so bonkers.
It's discouraging, honestly.
I can imagine.
That's me on Grindr. Just fucking sucks. It's just, fuck this. I'm out. You know.
And I had a similar experience on Tinder where I would match with people, you know, like a couple people that I had liked, and then I'd message them, and either I'd get no response or I'd get a couple of responses and then never again. But on Grindr, you go on, and everyone's like, hey, let me suck your dick right away. And you're like, well, this is nice. I don't want you to do it, but thank you.
Thanks for the hold on there. You know, it's interesting. And even I don't know if this is all hookup apps, but I've seen this experience through Grindr. There's this casual. I even see people say no Asian people or no people
the
of
casual racism,
Hispanic descent.
It's the no fats, no femmes, no Asians, no Latins. Like it's like
that's so shitty. That's so fucking bad.
The discrimination on there. Honestly. And I mean, like, are you kidding me? And they're like, oh, it's just a preference. No, the fuck, it's not. You're racist.
Yeah, that's super racist. Like, let's be honest about that. Calling it a preference is a cop-out, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a cop-out.
And there is aesthetic things you can, I guess, find preference in, and it's complicated because...
Is there a gray line? Is it less black and white?
Let me tell you this. Let me explain to you why it is not gray.
Damn it!
Because, look at it this way.
Yeah.
You don't know every single Asian person, every single black person.
That's true.
Just like you don't know every single trans person or every single gay person.
You're essentially saying, I'm cutting out the whole...
Yeah, so the thing is, you don't know that you don't like all of those people.
I'll take that. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
So
it's true. That's true. That's
the gray line, I understand where you're coming from, but to outright say you don't like a whole entire population of people because of one thing...
That's pretty shitty.
That's racist.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'll take that.
Yep.
I get that.
It's not a preference.
Saying that
why don't you like black people?
For sure.
And if it's
I just don't care for the, you know.
You're like, I don't like dark skin. Why? Where is that coming from? Like, internally, what is the issue? Aesthetically, why? You like tan? When you tell your girl to get a tan, you want her skin to be darker, but you don't like black people. Like people are a little tan. you don't like Hispanic people, but you. Okay. I don't understand that. So, no, there is no gray line there. You can't dislike a whole population of people, especially because not all black people look the same.
Real.
Not all Asian people look the same.
That is absolutely true.
Yeah. Well, there's so
not
much.
Not all white people look the same, although we kind of do.
Yeah, on the real, we all look about the same.
All white people look the same.
I'm just the fat version of Ted.
And I'm just the dark-haired version of Ted.
It's weird. I think I have a higher and lower bar for different races.
Yeah, I mean, if you
that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it's weird to think about where that comes from and how and why you think that. I think that's real. That's something that we all experience and things that we all think about.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. I think you're right. I think I do the same thing. I think I've done the exact same thing.
I do that.
Where my bar is different for different type. Well, for women, I have a different standard for women than I do for men than I do for. God, that's crazy to think about. It's
interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting.
Mine's not for races. Mine's between women and men.
Yeah.
Like, I see women and I'm like, all women are beautiful and I love them. Men, I'm like, ew, you ugly. Get away from me.
What about, do you have that same thing with maybe non-binary people or other trans people? You don't have to answer. I'm just curious now.
That one's harder. I tend to be, I guess I'm a lot more lenient with trans people.
Yeah.
I think my standards, and I hate to say this because it's really shitty, but my standards are a little bit lower. I don't hold them to as high of a standard because I feel like they've probably gone through a lot more shit
bullshit.
And they don't have the same privileges. So like maybe they don't have the money to get their hair done. So if their hair isn't professionally dyed and it doesn't look as good, then I don't really care. But like, bitch, if you look like you have money and your hair still looks like shit, then I'm gonna call you on it. And I know that's fucked up, but it's something that I think we all do to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I do it for age too. Like a younger girl, oh, she looks older. She's good.
Yeah.
Older girl, she looks younger. She's good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I
strange.
definitely judge people differently on their age. I'm a lot more forgiving. I'm personally more forgiving when you're younger than when you're older. I'm like, homeboy, get your life. Like, I don't know. I'm a little more brutal on older dudes, but that's just something that I don't.
Oh, well,
as myself.
thank God.
We can all agree that casual racism is bad.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, the real thing is that Grindr has all of this toxic stuff, whether it's about the toxic masculinity or the casual racism or it's just straight up discrimination all across the board.
Yeah.
And we've all seen it in so many different ways. And I actually have this really interesting experience.
I need to know this because you hyped this up.
This juicy tea.
You hyped this up off camera and said, I have something I've never told you guys.
Do tell.
It's not, I don't know if it's going to be as juicy as y'all think. Okay, so
This drink is stronger than I was ready for.
I know. But so on the topic of the racism on Grindr, so I've gotten a lot of messages that are like very clearly, oh, I like you because you're white.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Just outright?
They're a little bit more
Subtle
than that, but you're exactly my type, and you know, it's so nice to find another white guy that is
really,
you know, like it's like you're exactly my type, you know, light skin, dark hair, blue eyes, stuff like that. But that's not even the worst. That's not the tea. Here's the tea. So I don't actually really 100% know what my background is, but when my beard grows in and I've not been inside all winter and I have a little bit of a tan, I tend to look a little bit more Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that I might be at least, you know, somewhat Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
And I got one message that was very, very, it's honestly, it's kind of hard to talk about because it was so aggressive and it was really dehumanizing and mean. It was basically telling me that I was, you know, like most of my messages are either, oh, you're really hot, or I want to try you out because you're trans, and which is problematic and gross.
A whole nother level of problematic
thing.
Jesus Christ.
But
I want to try you out.
Oh, or, you know, I've never experienced a trans person before. Like,
come on, man.
That's
all
your word.
At least mask your chasing, you know?
Yeah.
Thank you. But
pretend you're not a chaser.
I got this message which totally just caught me off guard because I'm very white passing. I've always been white. That's I've just been white.
Yeah.
That's what I've been my whole life. And this guy sent me a message and said, you know, you should go back to wherever you came from.
Mystifying.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sent me and then continued sending messages until I ultimately blocked him.
Yeah,
basically saying, I hadn't even opened it so I didn't see him, but he just sent message after message.
Oh, yeah.
For about 5 minutes before I opened them, and then blocked him, saying stuff like, you know, basically, all of you Arabs need to get out of this country. It's not safe with you here. He said something.
Thesis message.
Solid.
I'm pretty sure it was, you know, you should praise Allah or whoever it is you pray to that you're even you ever got to this country in the first place.
Christ.
Of course.
And I understand. Okay,
he's like, get off of Grindr, you shouldn't be here. We don't want you here.
Fuck you.
And I blocked him and I deleted Grindr and I just sat
that guy
there
can speak for everyone.
because I had never experienced that.
Is that your first racist moment you experienced?
That was the first real big racist thing that I had ever experienced personally.
Crazy.
You know, I had seen a lot of it happen to my friends.
Yeah.
And I had stood up for them and defended them. And then that was the first thing that was really big that had ever happened to me.
Jesus.
And, you know, I always just assumed that everyone just assumed I was white or like Jewish and it was never really a problem for anyone. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks and I didn't know what to do. And
yeah, you had feelings you never had before.
I'm just choked up about it, even thinking about it.
Jesus Christ.
That is
That's
just something I can't empathize with, and I can't
fathom
begin to
I've
start empathizing with where they're coming from.
Yeah. Why would you even...
What's the point of sending those messages?
Yeah, what are you trying to accomplish by just making someone feel like shit? I never understand on the internet.
I literally can't.
No. We've actually been lucky here on this show. We've never had anyone be like, oh, these... I almost said a slur. A gay slur that I can say.
Say it. Just say it and then cut it out.
I'm going to bleep it. No one's ever been like, look at these... No one's ever done that to us. So we've been really lucky in our comment section that that's never happened to us before. And
now someone's going to go into the comments and say it.
Yeah.
But that's a good point that we in Beer Bros, there was so much fat shaming.
Yeah. There was
awful.
There was an episode of F at Beer Bros where it was me, Alex, Brett, and Gerard. And I watched the comments because I'm a sociopath and I hate myself. And then one of the first like 3 comments was, wow, look at these fat fucks. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't. Why go out of your way to be an asshole?
Up.
And Grindr, I've had experience like that on Grindr for me personally too, because I'm a bigger guy and I'm you know at some points I'm somebody's type.
Yeah.
And so I have a very specific demographic that goes after me on Grindr.
Yeah.
But I get people that are like, wow, you're fucking fat. It's like,
why are you messaging me?
Number 1, duh. Number 2, come on, man.
Like, it's got to be ego stroking, right?
It is. It totally is. They feel good because they think they're some hot whatever.
They think they're better than you.
There was one guy who was this really, when I was up in Seattle, and I opened up Grindr because I wanted to see what was going on.
Yeah.
And it was this really ripped rugby playing guy, and he's like, oh man, you're fucking fat. I was like, cool, man, thanks. And
he said, oh man.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm really into that. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, I just want to fucking play with your titties. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Why do you think that that's something you can say to someone and still fuck them?
And I said to the dude, I was like, hey man, you know,
maybe don't open with that.
I was like, I really appreciate that you're attracted to me, but I really don't like the language. I was really academic. I really don't like the language you're choosing to describe me. It's like, yeah, but what's wrong? I love those fuck that big ass belly. And I was like, come on, man.
Again,
no, thank you.
I was like,
that's another example.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not. And I said to him, I'm like, dog, this isn't doing it for me. I'm out. And then periodically he'd be like, yo, baby, I'm in LA. You want to fuck, you fat fuck? And I was like, dude.
Just insulting, but just
filthy
oppositioning at the same time. It's so strange.
Yeah, it's very weird.
God, I love your fat ass bitch.
People that are into...
Oh, yeah. Like big dudes and...
Well, that's not even what I was going to say. There are some people that are into... humiliation and being degraded. But you A-okay that with someone first. You have that conversation. You do it in a healthy way. You don't open with, hey, you fat fuck.
Like, stop.
Also,
dick you.
If someone says, hey, I'm not okay with this language, you don't continue.
Yeah, you don't continue to do it. Well, and I also... I have either suspiciously young dudes go after me.
Like they might be
16. Suspicious?
Like they might not be old enough to be
They
on
might
there.
not be legal.
Yeah, and because I look like someone who is maybe
a daddy,
or I have that guy. So it's either the real young dudes that are like of specific minorities. Thank you, Ted.
You're welcome.
or older dudes who are just looking for
It's
either
either-
some cuddles or some fucks, and it's very
It's either the dudes that think you're a daddy or the actual daddy.
the actual daddies themselves. It's very fascinating. My experience, I'm gonna go on Tinder a little bit here. My experience with women was very different, because I'll admit, like I think I said in the episode,
love me.
they really do. I'm pansexual, and so I went to Tinder because I was just thinking, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna give it a try and see what this heterosexual world is like for a minute. And
Awful.
I think because of who I am, I'm not a very traditionally masculine person, and a lot of women on Tinder are looking for a very specific experience.
Mhm.
And when I would match with the ladies, it was always
The ladies.
the lady.
The feminine group.
It was always a really strange dynamic because I was really upfront about who I was,
Yeah.
and they'd be like, "That's cool," but like they would treat me because there's some women who really like feminine men
Yeah.
and really want that, but there's some women who are just, I'm out. So how do you deal with
Beards are huge
Oh,
on
yeah.
Tinder
Actually,
right now.
beards?
wish-
Like beards.
I think
Yeah.
that's my theory for why you get a lot of hits. Because I see a lot of women that say, I love beards, I love beards.
Yeah.
You have to have a beard,
You're
have
like-
to have a beard. Beard.
Ted like looks at his chest and goes, huh.
Yeah. The beards are
Well,
in.
I want to know, Ted, what you experienced on Grindr, because you went on there and you wasn't necessarily you typing to people, but it was you as the profile.
Yeah, we didn't exactly spell this out,
Yeah.
but it was a picture of me
Mm-hmm.
and another guy was speaking as me.
Yeah, Brett was being
On your
Ted,
behalf.
Yeah, and for matches, he gravitated towards canceling the conversation. So if they were a nice guy, he would be scuzzy and into drugs, and if they were a mean guy, he would be super nice and I really care about hobby. This hobby that we just mentioned.
Yeah.
So that's a little more context into that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whole thing.
Um,
So what was it like to see people, because you said you had a pretty wide variety of people that spoke to you.
it was a very Cyrano experience. If you know of the place Cyrano,
Yeah.
an attractive idiot woos a beautiful woman, and the ugly man that's intelligent feeds the attractive man the dialogue for the
Say
woman
the pretty
to woo
woman.
her.
Yeah.
So she is inadvertently falling for the combination of the pretty man and the intelligent man.
Yeah.
So I think it was kind of a blend of that, and it is just very strange.
Okay.
I don't know where I'm going with this, or
No, I get it.
how I'm
Did you-
answering your question.
Did you feel flattered that people were like, "Hey"?
I felt as if I was a woman on Tinder,
Get him.
and it was exciting, but
Yeah.
I knew it's something I just can't
It wasn't
experience
going
in
anywhere.
in any other circumstance.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
I know that the whole thing was a goof and none of it was really serious,
Yeah.
which is fine. But what sort of did you experience in the stuff that we're talking about, like people that were very overtly looking for something specific, or they're like, "Oh, you look like a masculine dude," like, stuff like that.
There was a range, and there are a lot of dudes that we're gonna fuck, we're gonna suck my dick, I'm gonna suck your dick, let's do this,
Yeah.
I'm ready to do this. And then there were a lot of, hey, and then they sent a picture, and it was just really nice, tame picture.
Yeah, like a nice.
And I felt bad because we're doing this goof,
Yeah,
and there's these genuine dudes that
Like,
see my
look-
profile
looking for some love.
and just, hey, this is me. I'm a nice guy. And I saw that and thought, you're a nice guy.
I don't want to fuck with you.
You're kind of an attractive man too. I wish I was gay here. This sucks. I
Well,
feel bad. You look great.
That's another thing with Grindr culture is a lot of times they'll just message you pics
Oh.
because they want more. They want to know more what you look like. So that's why
Yeah.
a lot of those guys are up front and they'll say hey, or they'll just send a picture so you don't just see their profile.
Yeah.
You see another.
If I were to
view of
log
them.
into
Yeah.
my profile, it says straight in my bio, face pic. Like you have to have a
Yeah,
face
it can't just
pic.
be like a titty.
And I think part of that is because you can only have one picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean,
Where-
a lot of people like to post just their titties, and I'm like, girl, I know you have a nice body, but what's your face look like? We're all gay, honey. Don't be afraid to hide.
It's
Yeah.
so important.
Yeah, it's very important. I'm a big face
Yeah, I
proponent.
need to be about that face, and the rest honestly doesn't super matter.
yeah,
Yeah.
as
I get
much.
it. I feel that too. I really do. I mean,
I mean, a nice body's nice, but what does your face look
Yeah, if you
like?
look
I
like-
have to look at that most of the time.
when I'm talking to you, which is the forefront of a relationship.
yeah, it's all community. Yeah,
But I mean, to be fair, Grindr is a hookup app, and if you're just gonna hook up with them, then the body
yeah, I
might
guess
be the
who
important
fucking
part.
carries? Put a paper bag
point,
over
good
them and
point.
get going.
Yep.
Get going to Bangtown.
I mean, you
Going to bang.
meet in a dark car in the alley or in the
or
driveway.
you drive to Las Vegas, or you meet somebody there. It doesn't matter.
Probably hot sex and stuff.
halfway
That's
halfway to
Sucking
Vegas.
fucking in the butt.
Sucking
You
in the
know,
butt,
some
sucking some
is-
asshole.
suck a-
Sorry
lick
if you're
some
watching this,
vagina,
that
you know what I'm
person
saying?
that lives there.
You gotta
I
shove
think
it
this
in
has
the butt.
been a really good conversation. I think this might be something we could do another episode on.
I could go
Yeah.
on for
I know,
so
same here,
long
but I
about
think-
this.
Yeah.
I don't want us to do too much of the circle
Yeah.
circle
Of
jerk.
course, of
Yeah, yeah.
course.
So I think this has been really awesome, Ted. I'm so glad, Ted, that you came on. This has been a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
I-
We appreciate you so much.
Please excuse my blatant drunkenness. This was
I know.
such
I'm-
a strong drink.
I'm there with
It
you.
was- yeah.
I'm there with you.
I'm not
guys,
even done and I'm
tell
drunk.
us if you're a queer person or not. Tell us about your dating app experience.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fucking
Yes.
hit that like button. Give us some love. Ted is great. Thank you again, Ted.
Thank
Hit
you
me up
so
on
much for
Grindr.
having
Yeah,
me on.
hell yeah.
really
Cheers to
appreciate it.
you guys. Hell yeah.
Welcome to the conversation.
love a copper cup, a mug cover, copper poppy cup.
Who is Ted?
This is a good episode.
B-roll.
I really think that this is a topic that I'm glad that it wasn't so structured.
Yeah.
I think that dating apps suck dick
Oh my god.
and they're not fun.
I love them.
It's kind of just everything about it is a kind of a case study on social relations and
Oh my
When
god.
I go back
yeah.
to school, this is gonna be some shit that I'm gonna like
It is-
look the fuck into.
God,
I-
it's juicy.
I love it.
Yeah.
I fucking. Oh my god.